It has just gone 8 o'clock Central African time. Good evening and welcome to the news bulletin at 8. Brought to you by Eswatini TV. I'm Sanibwe Ngwane. I'm with Zamanzi Manzi. We're coming to live from our Hospital Hill studios in Babane. For your top stories at 8, we dive straight into it and let's take a look. The Deputy Prime Minister has sent a stern warning to people who set forests alight, as that has a negative impact on the economy. The Acting Minister for Natural Resources has launched the Rural Electrification program of ready boards at Hambaso community under the Mhlume constituency. And the Kingdom of Eswatini has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Kingdom of Morocco and the Republic of Rwanda. Hello again for the news in detail. The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku sent a stern warning to people who set forests alight, as that has a negative impact on the economy. Masuku was speaking at Mbangweni in the Shiselweni region during a sensitization on fire outbreaks and timber theft. Eswatini TV's Genem Sibi has more on that story.
Forestry company loses millions of emalangeni on timber theft and forest fires. Shiselweni 2 residents were educated on the dangers of forest fires and timber theft. Bee hunting also results to forest fires, which the company encourages bee hunters to involve experts from the company. The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku was a case of honor warned against timber theft.
Asathe sinqumo lamhla ukuthi live lingafi ngawe ngoba nawushise umlilo ubulala live udibulala wena uyabhubhisa kungcono ke ukuthi sikuthathe lokho sikunakelele.
Senior Assistant National Commissioner Wendy Hleta represented the National Commissioner of Police.
Sineshisekelo kwesinamaphoyisa yekwathi ukuthi bantu bathi cupha phela tigodlo lengibona lo ngichamuka le ndasi kaManzini lenponjeni ukhanza emapali ngetinkulungwane tawo emisiwe ecadzini kwemgwaqo kodwa kubonakala ukuthi bawathathaphi bantu.
Patrick Dlamini, a forester in the Shiselweni Forestry Company, says the company's hands are open to whosoever would like to have assistance in bee harvesting.
Sihlaba inyanza leyo ke bekunene sinishiselwe forest ukuthi lo mnotho lokhona ubesilinkulu lelingawuqedza linye luthi lwemetshiso lelingasuswa ngimi lisuswe ngowe kushe wonke lo mnotho lokhona longona ukhashe noma kunetisebenzi letiningi letikhona talashiselweni letisebenta eshiselweni forest.
Shiselweni 2 Member of Parliament Strido Mbanza gave a report on the end of term report. He says despite challenges, they worked hard as a council. Reporting MKN Msibu Ismuba Shongwe, Kakolwane.
The Acting Minister for Natural Resources, Jabulani Mabuza, has launched the Rural Electrification program of ready boards at Hambaso community under the Mhlume constituency. The minister says the project is in line with the SDG 7 that calls for action towards ensuring access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all by the year 2030.
The Acting Minister for Natural Resources, Jabulani Mabuza, has launched a Ready Boards project at Hambaso and Mhlume constituency. Charles Kamete, the Eswatini Electricity Company technical technician, gives a brief explanation about Ready Boards.
It's a complete unit.
The Acting Minister for Natural Resources, Jabulani Mabuza, says the Ready Boards project is only for the identified needy and vulnerable communities in the country.
So ke lokho lesesitokwenza nje siphumelelisa le nkulumo yakhe siphinde siphumelelise le strategy zahulumende selitiko lesithi liswati lonke kufanele libe nagesi siphinde siphumelelise lo mgomo wemave lokwavunyelwana ngawo lo SDG 7.
Majosi Funza extended their gratitude towards the ministry.
Bengide vele mandla kanganani bengaba naye kadzeni kakhulu gesi kanti umuntu lo dzingako siyawudinga vele cishe sonke ngingakhulumeli mina kakhulu sibonge kakhulu nje impela sidela amandla.
Eswatini's electricity access stands at 82%, making the kingdom one of the most electrified countries in the country. Reporting, I am Tembelihle Makuchwa at Kombaso Mhlume.
Senate President Lindiwe Dlamini says the Aseka retreat has been an eye-opener to the prevailing challenges currently faced by the African countries and the Arab world, such as the impacts of climate change. The president has been speaking during the official opening of the second session of the 10th Aseka meeting held at the Royal Swazi Spa.
The second session of the 10th meeting of the Association of Senates, Shura and Equivalent Councils of Africa and the Arab world, Aseka, started with another high note and dedication. The second session of the meeting was held under the theme, The Significance of Green Economy in Achieving Sustainable Development in Africa and the Arab World. The meeting was officially opened by Senate President Lindiwe Dlamini.
This 10th Aseka retreat has been an eye-opener to the prevailing problems currently faced by humanity. The African continent and the Arab countries have not been spared from the ravaging effects of COVID-19. Climate change, economic inequalities, and human rights abuses. The aspirations of Aseka is to see the African continent and the Arab countries go far.
UNDP Africa Office Climate Change Specialist, Excellent Hachileka, says green economy calls for inclusivity.
Green economy is basically an economy that results in improved human well-being and social equity, while making sure that our environment is protected, our ecosystems are protected. Why? Because they are the basis of our economic growth. So a green economy basically looks at having development because we need development. But that development should not exclude anybody. It must be inclusive. It must be equitable. It must also reinvest in the resource base, because if we don't, then our economic growth is going to be compromised.
The United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, encouraged Aseka member states to commit 10% of their national budget to green economy. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samgal Suekoza with Sikumbuzo Dlamini, Ezulwini.
The Kingdom of Eswatini signed a memorandum of understanding with the Kingdom of Morocco and the Republic of Rwanda. The MOUs were signed by Senate President Lindiwe Dlamini when closing the 10th Aseka retreat held at the Royal Swazi Spa.
The 10th meeting of the Association of Senates, Shura and Equivalent Councils of Africa and the Arab World, Aseka, has officially closed. The meeting was hosted by the Parliament of the Kingdom of Eswatini as per the endorsement of His Majesty King Mswati III. The meeting was officially closed by Senate President Lindiwe Dlamini, who said each intervention by the various member countries had meaningful insights on the prevailing crisis faced by these countries.
The two thematic areas of the conference of the retreat are true catalysts towards confronting the complex realities which are engulfing our African and Arab countries. Each and every intervention by the various member countries had meaningful insights on the prevailing crisis, and all pointed towards a robust legislative interventions with respect to our core parliamentary mandate, which is legislative oversight and representation.
Aseka chairperson Enna Maraya stressed the importance of encouraging a green economy.
Aseka could play a more important role to bring about exchanges of experiences as representatives of the people, as the parliamentarians.
On another note, the Kingdom of Eswatini then signed bilateral agreements with the Kingdom of Morocco and another with the Republic of Rwanda to enhance human resources, developing and strengthening of operations of parliament. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samgal Suekoza with Sikumbuzo Dlamini, Ezulwini.
The acting TB Control Program Manager Lindiwe Dlamini says the Ministry of Health aims to increase TB case detection and treatment coverage from 65% to 90%. The acting manager has been speaking during the launch of the Find, Test and Treat TB and COVID-19 project that is implemented in partnership with the Georgetown University.
The Ministry of Health says the Find, Test and Treat TB and COVID-19 project aims to address gaps in the TB case finding and COVID-19 test and treat plan. The project will be implemented in 6 health facilities under the Manzini region, as the region has the largest population and contributes 50% of the country's TB cases. The acting programs manager at the National TB Control Program, Lindiwe Dlamini, says this project is set to increase TB case detection in the country.
Lo hlelo lesilwendako ke namhla le find, treat and test litasisita kakhulu ekutheni sibatfole labantu labane TB lobe sesingasabatfoli. Siphindze futhi sitfole nalaba labane COVID kanye. So lokho kutasisita silivela kangwane ukuthi sikhulise labantu letinombolo tebantu labane TB lobe sesingasakhoni kubatfola siphindze sikhulise netinombolo tebantu labane COVID. Sitokhona bese sesiyabalapha ngoba umgomo wethu ngulokuthi sibelaphe.
Georgetown University Country Director Dr. Samson Haumba said lessons learned from the COVID-19 pandemic can help the country with the fight against other diseases.
So this project is providing that opportunity as a country for us to implement innovative approaches for multiple diseases. In this case, we are talking about COVID and TB, but we could do more and integrate the implementation of this project with other health priorities in the country.
The project would be implemented in 6 constituencies, including Pondo, Kwaluseni, and Hlambeni. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samgal Siwekoza with Sikumbuzo Dlamini, Ezulwini.
The Ministry of Home Affairs wishes to inform the general public that the mopping exercise will resume on Tuesday, the 16th of May 2023 in the Lubamba and Chisaleni regions. The exercise was suspended due to unforeseen circumstances beyond our control, but it pleases the ministry to announce that all necessary measures have been put in place to ensure a smooth and successful continuation. The ministry apologizes to any, or rather for any inconvenience caused by the suspension of the exercise, and we assure all concerned individuals that we are committed to delivering an effective and efficient registration process in all chiefdoms countrywide. Therefore, we urge Bantu Bengosi, Bobabetikulu, Tindruna and Bukopo to encourage all eligible individuals who have not yet registered to take advantage of this opportunity and ensure that they are duly registered. The mop-up exercise focuses on the following: late birth and marriage and death registration, ID enrollments, guidance on residence permits, citizenship and asylum seekers, applicants or other applications, as well as information on the exercise or the services offered by the ministry. As a service delivery-oriented ministry, we reiterate our commitment to ensuring that all citizens have access to basic rights, including the right to legal identity, and to remain committed to providing the necessary support and assistance to achieve this goal. Now, this announcement is by the Principal Secretary, Nhlanhla R. Umalo. And to these now, the Kolane residents and surrounding areas had a prayer service at Kolane Primary School on Friday morning where they prayed for the end of road accidents. Some were fatal. Now, the prayer was attended by officials from the Ministry of Public Works and Transport.
Following road accidents that were now becoming a norm near Gakoloane Primary School along the Itabandu Highway, and some claiming lives of most people, pastors at Gakoloane called for a prayer service to pray against these road accidents. Officials from the Ministry of Public Works and Transport and the Road Safety Council were part of the national prayer. Mandla Njalinjali, the Director of Road Transport Department, warned children against playing next to and on public roads. He warned vendors as well who sell next to public roads to avoid running to customers without looking whether the road is clear and safe to cross at that particular time.
Musa kuba sandla sokuthi lo munye umuntu alahlekelwe umphefumulo nekuthi nje wena usebenza umgwaqo.
Dumisa Dlamini from the Singabetelo MVA Fund urged pedestrians and motorists to be careful to avoid queuing for claims from the MVA Fund.
Nakhona umkhuhlane lo vele okushaywa kabi bemoto
bayawenda konke lokubagunyatako emthethweni kokuthi basihlangabeze sive kuze kuthi impilo siyiseve.
The Eswatini National Fire and Emergency Services and the paramedics also educated on road safety as well.
Kufuneka wena uthi na uhambe ehlangothini lolu lobekelwe kulo ukuthi uyawuhamba kulo na uhamba uphambane nemoto uzoyibona le moto.
Kubuta Member of Parliament Mlamuli Mabuza was also concerned with the high number of accidents.
Nesive ke sengonyama lesihamba kulomgwaqo sicela naso ukuthi litubane sicela manje linciphise because kunebantwana lapha etikoleni kunesive lesihambako kuna wonke umuntu osebenzisa lo mgwaqo.
The pastor has commended the prayer as some accidents are due to the works of the evil one. Reporting MKN Msibu Smuba Shongwe Kakolwane.
The Elections and Boundaries Commission says in 3 days, over 16,000 Maswat have registered for the national elections. EPC Communications Officer Mbonisi Bembe says men are leading in the registrations. Bembe says Maswati have shown interest in this year's elections, as on the first day of the registration, over 2,000 people registered, while on the same day in 2018, only 1,000 people registered. He is positive that 650,000 people will register in this year's elections.
Embabane dolobheni lapho khona sibonile kulelisasasa abantu babaningi labafuna kubhalisela ukhetho. Siyathola ukuthi eFandeni siteshi sesilapha eFandeni preschool ukuthi emphakathi emtsimba solo babhalisa nakhona ukuthi kulele eminye imiphakathi emsunduza baseholeni la kusasemsunduza Eswatini dinengana ke tindzawo khona ICT college kuvuliwe Woodlands shopping complex kuvuliwe kanye na lomsayi igrocery nakhona kuyasetshenzwa ngakhona enkundleni yasembabane West khona eMangwaneni eCape Point M4 bayabhalisa khona kumanzana eMbabane Central High School lapha eGeden nje bayabhalisa khona kanzi eNkwalini zone 4 kuBulletin preschool eMaswati ayabhaliswa khona kuleminye imiphakathi umphakathi siyacela lokuthi isatise sive lapho kwendeka ukuthi sebayacocoma etindzaweni lebetijwayelekile ukuthi bawubhalisa khona kwendele ukuthi kulobo bantu babe nawo lwati lokuthi sengikuphi lapho bangasonzela khona siyayikhuthaza ke nebaphathi bemango lo ukuthi balithinze libandla lelibukwethu indzaba delikhetho mangabe kukhona lishintsho sendele ukuthi eMaswati anganowephuka nobe anganawulimala ukuthi ayenza wena bekajwayele ukuthi abhalisa khona akhanze ukuthi akusabhaliswa.
Hope House has organized a mental care day for its caregivers as means to refresh them. According to Hope House program manager Mpomele Lombata, the facility found this necessary to organize such a day for caregivers as they are always taking care of the sickly people.
Hope House program manager Nompumelelo Lomamba says there are about 25 sickly people housed in the facility. She proceeds to talk about the importance of the mental care day of caregivers.
We want to appreciate them on this day. We are saying we are very, very thankful as Hope House. We recognize you. You are important in patient care. And we want to take care of their health needs. Since they are here for 24 hours, they are not able to access services outside of this facility.
Hope House caregiver Sanzi Dlamini says they really appreciate the event organized by the institution for them.
Sibamvula behlukahlukene and sinawo vele ama challenges siyadzinga ukuthi mahle basikhuthata because bagula kuhlukahlukana uyuve sometimes lokuthi uyati ngiva sengazuthi ngimi lo lophathekile.
Independent caregiver Mamsi Slongonyane says the work of caregivers is not an easy one. She adds that they end up being emotionally attached to the sickly persons while taking care of them.
Kulesinye isikhathi ukhanza ukuthi lesigulane asikuthanzi but wena kufuna sonke isikhathi utithobe ngalesigulane ukukhombisa ukuthi ithobe ukhanze ukuthi maybe lesigulane sesigula kakhulu kwanawe so weak but kufuna uqine.
Since the caregivers are always taking care of their patients, the Ministry of Health provided them with health assistance that they may need on this day. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune.
The Eswatini Standards Authority and the Eswatini Competition Commission have signed a memorandum of understanding that hopes to prevent or deter the Eswatini market from providing substandard goods to the customers.
The Eswatini Competition Commission Chief Executive Officer Muzi Dlamini says competition and consumer protection are complementary in the sense that competition forces businesses to become more efficient and innovative so they can compete favorably in the marketplace while providing for a wider choice of goods and services to consumers.
Competition forces businesses to become more efficient and innovative so that they can compete favorably in the marketplace, while providing for a wider choice of goods and services. For companies to be competitive in the marketplace, they don't only compete on price, but also on quality. So if you think about it, when you purchase an item from any shop, you will first consider whether the product is value for money, which is determined not only by the price, but also the quality of the product.
The Eswatini Standards Authority Acting Executive Director Philile Dlamini says substandard goods and services in Eswatini markets have always been a challenge, as most services providers have considered the country as a dumping ground for goods and services which do not meet standards of international markets.
The MOU that we are signing today is a show of the dedication and commitment for both entities, leadership in achieving customer satisfaction, and also ensures business sustenance through the provision of quality service whilst deterring the minimization of anti-competitive practices.
The relationship between the two entities dates back to over 5 years, where they have collaborated on issues of consumerism and consumer protection. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla Mbabane.
Well, more news for you in the world of business as we dive straight to take a look at our financial indicators to get a sense of our markets for today in our financial report.
It can be.
We begin our sports roundup with Mbabane Solar Supporters Committee member Jackson Lamini, who is urging the team's supporters to be in their good behavior in the last game of the current season following last week's violent scenes in their encounter against Royal Leopards.
We begin our sports roundup in football under the Premier League, where Mbabane Solar Supporters Committee member Jackson Lamini has urged supporters to display good behavior in the last game of the current season following their misbehavior in last week's encounter when Swallows was defeated 4-2 by Royal Leopard, and supporters went on gunning for the coach's blood.
Ngakho-ke nasekubonakala ukuthi indzaba text sesivimbe ama-dressing room sesifuna ama-officials akusiyo involved. Singacela nje ukukhuta kakhulu ngoba kuyayilimata nale image osifundisa le club.
And in women football, there is an outcry from women's clubs under the National Women's League over the unfair treatment by Young Buffaloes ladies team, where they keep on taking teams players, which leave majority of the clubs without players and at some point begin from scratch to get new players.
Kuyi-challenge lesibhekene nayo smart teams sonke. Umtombo wami ulike theni only Women's Football Association can assist on that, because thina as teams we cannot. And nemthetho wethu ngala uyasho ukuthi thina we've got amateur players who are free to go to any team, you see. So akukho lokubavimba kakhulu ukuthi they can go anywhere.
Indzaba lebhlungu thina kula season wahamba 11 players. Bakhosa sihambe la etindlini tebantu sifuna abadlali i-team ihambe bonke abadlali mababe eThekwini. Kule ndzaba yeBuffalo Kubuhlungu kakhulu ngoba banama opportunities bona emsebenzi sineside imisebenzi. Labantu nje bacetha isikole bakubhafala. Uyabona ukuthi lebhola ethu iya emuva and le Africa Cup kuthi into abadayidlala because ba commit nema team la week. Bathethe bonke badlali bona.
If mina ngirecruitile maybe 5 players this season. Ngimrecruite amongst these teams ngidlala against them. Asengiphume phela this time maybe 2 uma season ngilandzelana sengiyofuna labanye badlali le lalo lomnye umuntu khona aye khona wayomfuna ngibuye ngidigrumele nami other than lokho ukuthi we will take the best.
The Women Football Association is aware of the issue and has begun to work on it.
Association, we are aware of the matter at hand. Yawo imbalance lekhona kuma teams ethu aka women and still hope is asikahlali ke phansi sikunetinkhona lesihambako kuzama ukuthi simane sente ukuthi kubalance kungakonje kulesinye isikhathi siyahlabela ingoma yayo onke amalanga solokuqalela season.
In our international news, Europa League semi-finals on Thursday evening saw AS Roma from Italy edging Bayern Leverkusen from Germany by a goal to nil. In another game, Juventus from Italy as well play a 1-1 draw with Sevilla from Spain. The return matches of these semi-finals will be next week Thursday. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbawani.
With the sports news, we hit the home stretch of the news bulletin at 8 at Eswatini TV. But before we go, here's a quick reminder of news-making headlines tonight. The Deputy Prime Minister has sent a stern warning to people who set forests alight, as that has a negative impact on the economy. The Acting Minister for Natural Resources has launched the Rural Electrification Program of ready boards at Hambaso community under the Mhlume constituency. And the Kingdom of Eswatini has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Kingdom of Morocco and the Republic of Rwanda. Beautiful Kingdom of Eswatini, that's all we had for you from the news desk. We shall now cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report from us and the rest of the team at Eswatini TV. For now, it's a good night and God bless.